How you guys doing? Welcome back to Country Mash. I hope you guys have been awesome. And today we are reviewing a product that I actually never thought I would want to use, much less review, and that's the Magpul Bipod. Great intro, right? Alright, so before I go into explaining that whole thing about not wanting to use it, I gotta ask you guys a question because you guys are so good at giving feedback, I realized from my last video. So I want to know from you guys if you guys use vertical foregrips or hand stops on any of your DMR or SPR or Mark 12-ish builds, any of your medium to long range AR builds. Do you guys like to use vertical foregrips or hand stops? I personally have a love-hate relationship with them, and I never know if I actually want it on there. Like I want it on there, but then once it's on there, it gets in the way sometimes. And so I'm curious what you guys think. Put down in the comments below whether you think a vertical foregrip or hand stop is a good idea, and if you like it on your medium to long range AR builds. Now, to get to the bipod. So first, let me give you guys a little backstory. When the Magpul Bipod first came out, I saw it. It's made out of plastic, and my first thought is, why would I want plastic? There's already so many metal ones that are out there, ranging from budget to higher end, expensive ones. Why would Magpul come out with something mid-priced, priced kind of comparatively to a Harris bipod? Why would they come out with one made out of plastic? I just didn't get it. So I honestly just kind of stayed away from it. I figured if I want to get a really nice bipod, I would go super expensive, and if not, I'm just going to use a Harris or even the Amazon Harris knockoffs that you can get on Amazon. So fast forward, I was talking to my friend Will, who works at Magpul at the Indianapolis NRAM, and I was talking about the bipod, and I told him, my concerns about it, and he was like, look man, yes, it's made out of plastic, and yes, it has more wobble, and it has more give to it, and that's part of the design. And so the wobble is actually meant for loading it, and it's also gonna have really good durability because it's made out of polymer. So Optics Planet generously provided this Magpul bipod for review, and they also provided you guys with a coupon code which will give you guys a discount as well as support the channel. So whether you care about the discount code or you just want to support the channel, use code CountryMash on all of your orders to save 5%. It's 5% as of right now. That may change in the future. But as of right now, you can save 5% and support the channel by using that code over at opticsplanet.com. Now let's get into the bipod. So ever since I got this bipod in, I've been on this thing. I switch it from rifle to rifle. No matter how many rifles I'm shooting in a day, I am putting this on my rifle and using it. And I've had it for maybe about 3 months now, I think. And I can confidently say the things that I've put it through, and I've used it enough that I can confirm a couple things. So let's jump into the review by starting off with some of the specs and details, and then I'll share with you guys my experience after that. So let's kick it off by talking about some of the specs and details. So as of right now, while making this video, this bipod comes in 3 different mounting platforms. It comes in M-LOK, the 1913 Picatinny style, which is what I have, and then the ARM 17S style, which you can add various QD attachments to. And then on their website says that they have a sling stud quick detach coming soon. Right now it comes in 2 different colors, black and FDE, or flat dark earth. Magpul states that the main construction of the bipod is mil-spec aluminum, stainless steel, and polymer, but as you guys can see, most of the bipod is polymer. But that does keep it lightweight, weighing 11 ounces. The rubber feet are interchangeable with most Atlas pattern bipod feet, and the legs do extend out 4 inches, so that takes it from 6.3 inches to 10.3 inches. And the legs are spring tensioned, which makes them easier to deploy. The bipod does have tilt and pan features. You can lock out the panning feature by completely loosening the locking knob and flipping the center plastic ring around 180 degrees so that the arrow that was pointing to pan now points at lock. The locking knob in the middle has very aggressive knurling, which makes it really easy to adjust, and the bottom of the locking knob has a soft rubber similar to the feet, which gives it really good traction if you were to use the bipod with the legs in the up position. And the price for the bipod comes in around $100. And I say around $100 because as of right now, Optics Planet actually has one of the models for $97, and then a couple of the other models are a little bit over $100. So it can vary depending on the date and the time. So I would just say expect the price of the bipod to be around $100, but I would never pay more than $109 since that is the MSRP on Magpul's website. Alright, so now to talk about my experience and some pros and cons, and just to address the concerns that I had and that many of you guys probably have. So let's address the first concern that is probably the most obvious, and that is the wobble. It's a wobbly bipod, and according to my friend Will over at Magpul, the wobble was part of the design for loading the bipod. Now, I cannot confirm whether that's true or not, whether it was part of the design. There's no way that I can prove that. But what I can tell you guys is that after using it, the loose tolerance in the legs allowing that wobble really does help with loading the bipod. And when you load the bipod, that makes it really, really secure and steady. So I know that the wobble is good, but whether it's part of the design or not, I can't say for sure. I do ask myself these questions though. How could a company like Magpul, who makes such nicely fitted stocks and really nice products, and even the rest of this bipod, every other aspect about it is made so well with such tight tolerances, how can they have messed up on those legs? And those are the only things that are wobbly. I don't know. I'll leave that for you guys to decide. So now to address the second concern, which is its durability, because it's made out of polymer. Well, the whole debate of polymer versus metal could go on forever. I honestly, I'm not an engineer on that kind of stuff. I don't know what all goes into that, but I do know that this is a tough bipod and that it's really durable. So when I load on this bipod, I put some serious weight on it. And if you guys can see right here, I use there's like a lip on my tailgate of my truck, and I'm able to shoot like that all day, and it's going back and forth with recoil, and then my weight's going back into it again, and I've had no problems at all. I haven't had any flexing, nothing has bent, nothing has broken. I've had no issues. So now the third concern that I've heard from you guys, and it's actually something that I would like to see change in the future. Maybe not change, but just maybe a different option. And that the legs are a little bit on the long side. It's kind of tall. And so, you know, comparing it to a Harris bipod or even this knockoff bipod from Amazon, it's a little bit on the tall side. And so I would like to have the option to be able to get a little lower if I had to, especially because some of the places where I shoot, I'm actually shooting slightly at a downward angle, so it could be a little bit tough sometimes. But a couple of thoughts that I had that might be able to speak to that are, one, I think a lot of people are using the AR platform these days, which means a magazine that protrudes a little bit further than your standard bolt action with a blind magazine or something like that. And then even if you do have a bolt action, a lot of people are using extended magazines, whether that be the 10 rounds, or even the 5 rounds that protrude a little bit. And so you want to be up a little bit higher. Otherwise your magazine would be hitting the floor or whatever you're shooting off of. But I do like the fact that you are able to shoot with the legs in the up position. You're able to use the locking knob as a barricade stop. And then also if you want to just rest that knob on something, like I mentioned before, there is a soft rubber material right there, very similar to the feet, that has a really nice grip to it. So if you're to rest your rifle on the locking knob itself, it's going to have good grip. And then the only other con I could really think of, and I don't even know if it's a real con since Magpul integrated a feature to counter this problem, it's that if you have the pan feature unlocked, which is allowing you to pan, and you go to tighten down your locking knob all the way, it still is going to pan pretty easy. Your tilt will be locked up pretty tight, but it will still pan fairly easy. So if you want to get rid of the pan, you do have to put it in the lockout mode. So it's pretty cool that Magpul did think of that, and I'm glad they did, because I usually keep it locked out. I don't really have a huge need to have it to be able to pan, but just want to throw it out there, and it's good for you guys to know that stuff. So overall, I actually really like this bipod. I know it seems like I'm defending it a lot, but I kind of feel like I have to, because in my own mind, I was pretty hard on it way before I ever even got my hands on one. And so I'm actually overly impressed with what it's been capable of and what it can handle. And just, I don't know, it's smooth, it's lightweight, it's very streamlined. There's not a whole lot on it that can get snagged and caught up on anything. So if you guys have a Magpul bipod, I'm curious to know what you guys think about it. As for me, I like these bipods, and I could definitely say they are really good for the price. Before we wrap up this video, I do want to remind you guys of the discount code that Optics Planet has provided for you guys, which is code COUNTRYMASH. That will give you guys a discount, and it will support the channel, so that way we're able to get more gear like this to review for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys got something out of it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel. I seriously love you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.